Hi, I'm Dick. This video is a demo of advanced usage of maxx, minx, and temporary data table in Matrix. This is also the episode 3.3 of Stream 1. Do you agree if your audience requests the data in the form of Excel file after reading your fantastic Power BI report? It indicates that the report has not fully met their needs. Visual can help capture attention with robust and colorful graphics, but you still need to provide some detailed information to back up your claims. You need to ensure all the visuals are supported by supplementary details to maintain their effectiveness. Actually, the ultimate goal of visuals is to direct your audience to read the numbers. I'm going to guide you through about this demo. This is the Power BI report viewed in a browser. All right. In this report, you can see that we have a 4 slicer, year slicer, selecting 2024 as the current year. And then the month slicer, I did not choose any month. That means all months are selected. And then we have the rows to show slicer, column to show slicer. These 2 slicer, for the time being, I'm not going to go into detail. Rather, we just focus on this Power BI report. Now, of course, you may challenge, this is not a good presentation of figures in Power BI way. I totally agree with you. Actually, this report is to provide the detailed information. It is not the front page of any Power BI report. Rather, it may be the last page. Whenever your audience would like to see a list of summary, of course, it is not the transaction list. It is the summary of transaction. You see that the row is by city, the column is by model, and then we have the total column and total row down below or at the right of the column total. You see that there is a set of corresponding information. The product with maximum sales, the city with maximum sales, and the maximum quantity of that model, or the maximum quantity of that city, and then the corresponding minimum city and quantity. Well, we also want to see how is the contribution of maximum or minimum quantity against the total. So you see that we also have the respective column and row for maximum and minimum. At last, we have the quantity range. That is the difference between maximum and minimum. Of course, they are corresponding to the model and city. And then the last column or the row is maximum quantity over minimum quantity. Now, this is the maximum quantity of a particular model over the minimum sales quantity of a particular model. All right. And then why is so complicated like that? Because when you choose the respective month, then the whole matrix will show that quantity of that month. Of course, this slicer, you can multi-select the month. For example, January, February, and March. All right, we want the quarter total. You can also multi-select. For example, like this, I hold the control key and use the mouse pointer to select the month. January, February, and March. All right, you see that there is some break in the column and model. Okay, it's easy to see that because now for the model K, we only sell in city H. All right, there is no other model. No other city for this model K. All right, it does not mean anything to mark the only city with maximum and minimum and also the quantity range. So that's why I leave it blank so that you can see some exception with that model. And for this city, same logic. In city R, we only sell model C. So there is no meaning to mark the maximum and minimum with the same city. That's why I leave it blank. All right, this structure of presentation to a certain extent can tell you something about the sales performance. And you may also challenge. Now, the main area, this is the main area matrix. Now, there is 2 sets of color. All right. It is better to explain by selecting the slicer here, the city slicer. When I click the city slicer, you see that there is only 1 set of color, the pink background color and the green background color. What does it mean? Now, we start from city A. The minimum sales quantity model is model W, and we put pink as the background color. And the maximum sales quantity model is model Z. We put green as background color. Every single city, they should only have 2 background color, pink or green or nothing. All right, I have explained just now. Now, go back to city R, right? Empty. And then there is no background color. Of course, you may say, oh, white is also the background color. So leave it. All right. And then when I click product and deselect city, you see that same. We only have 1 set of color. Now, this time, it is the font color. Okay, we start from model 1. City J, they sell the highest quantity for model 1. And then city N, they sell the lowest quantity of model 1. You see that down below. You also can find the maximum city. City J, right? City J, line 701. And also the max quantity, line 701. And the maximum quantity over total is 26.7%. All right, total is here, 36.2K. And the minimum city is city N, here, city N, 32. All right, and the quantity range is 9.7K minus 32. We have almost 9,007K. All right. And then maximum over minimum, that means 9.7K over 32. We have 303 times. Okay. To a certain extent, you can provide some insight of this sales matrix by adding some additional columns, additional rows, so that when our audience are reading this matrix, they can have some idea of the performance in combination of model and city. I also would like to highlight one point to you. Do you see that unlike the typical matrix, usually total is at the rightmost column for the column total, or the row total should be the last row, but now it is in the middle. Now I can tell you that actually this column total and row total are not the subtotal or grand total of a standard matrix visual. Rather, it is a customized column or customized row I add to the visual. Of course, I can tell you that it's possible to put the column total in the middle of any model, or the row total at the middle of any city. But it doesn't mean anything. That's why I just put it right after the models or just below the last city. Now, there is some technique we can make use of to dynamically place our desired columns or rows in any position. Before we go to do the exercise of constructing this report, I still need to explain to you how many area of this visual matrix has. Now, first of all, I deselect the month. All right, and there are 8 areas. The first area is the main, which is the matrix of model and city A. Now, from here to there, now this is the main area. All right, and of course, each area has its own formula. All right, and then the second area is the column total and row total. Okay, but I also would like to highlight one point. When I click on the product, you see that there exists a total column, column total. All right. Then when I click on the statistics, the column total also appear here. Now, same as the row total. Now, when I click on city, there is row total. When I click on the statistics, there is also a row total. But I can tell you that actually, I have 2 columns total and 2 row total, so that whenever you click on the product or statistic, you still see the total column. It knows that the column total both belongs to product and statistic, but it is not the case. I have 2 columns, and I also have a 2 rows total. Okay, I will explain to you when we are going to construct the report. And then the third area is the maximum product, maximum quantity, which in the column wise, I put green in as the background color. But for the row wise, that means for the city, I put green as the font color, the maximum city and maximum quantity. See this area. All right, this is the third area. The fourth area is the max over total, max quantity of city over total, or max quantity of model over total. All right, and then the fourth area is the minimum. The sixth area is the minimum quantity over total. Here, the red in background color, and then the white in background color is the quantity range, the 7th area, and the maximum over min, the 8th area. I can tell you that each area has its own formula, but they are all grouped under a single DEX measure. Now, this is the magic of matrix visual. I don't have so many measures for this visual matrix. For the background color, yes, I have one measure that governs the assignment of background color. Same logic applied to font color. Just one DEX measure to determine what font color I am going to place. Now, you see that here, the green color as font color, red font color. Here, even the white, yes, is also determined by that measure. And even you see that in the column total and row total, there is the maximum city, minimum city with different font color. Same in the row total. All right, that is really amazing. Just use a single measure to determine all the color or the data of all cells. Okay. Okay, let's start from scratch in Power BI. First of all, we need to import the data from Excel. I'm using the same data set which I used in episode 2 and episode 2 3.1 and 3.2. I believe that you would have some idea about this file. We only have a 4 column, date, product, city, and quantity. All right, so we are going to import it. Sales quantity. Then I go to the data view, table view. Okay, I'm going to add 2 columns, but before that, I need to specify that it don't summarize. All right, I add 2 columns. X year, X month. Okay, The next step is to create two data tables. One is for the extra column we need to add in addition to this imported data set. And the other one is the extra rows we need to add in addition to the city. All right. But what columns are we going to add? We better go to see the finished product of this Power BI report. Okay, here, let's see. The extra column is total, max product. That means the product with the maximum sales quantity. Maximum quantity associated with this product. The max over total. Max quantity divided by the total quantity of this city. All right. And the minimum sales quantity product. The minimum sales quantity. Minimum quantity over the total. Quantity range, max over min. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we have the corresponding set of rows below city. All right. The total we need to create. We are not going to use the grand total or subtotal of visual matrix. All right. We use our own. In order to save time, I just do the copy and paste, and then I explain to you what function or command I'm using. Okay, I'm going to create a new data table. Now, I call it statistic city. The DAX function used is data table. Now, inside the data table, we need to put 3 parameters at least. First of all, it is the name of the column. I call it header, and the type is string. The second column is ID. That means the ID of that header. The data type is integer. Now, you see, the columns one by one. Total, the ID is 1. Max stock city, the ID is 2. Max stock quantity, the ID is 3. And so up to line, max over min. When I hit enter, you see that the data table is created. Recall that in Power BI there is a command icon. Here, we use it before. Create a new table by typing or pasting in new contents. Now, I'm not going to use this because the disadvantage of this command is whenever we create a table and do the manual input, and we cannot change anymore. So that's why I prefer using the data table DAX function, because whenever we find that we need to add or delete the rows or columns, we just add or delete the input. So flexible. Okay. I hope you would also appreciate this. Then I'm going to create another data table. It is the statistics product. The major difference between these two data table is the max product instead of max city. Min product instead of min city. So I don't have any choice. I need to create two data table for the header. All right. Then I hit enter. Okay, the data table is created. Then the next step, I would like to bring you back to the completed version of this report. Now you see the column header is a continuously header. Model 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to model Z. Then total max product max quantity. That means we need to combine the model list, which is from the sales quantity data table, and the extra column of the newly created data table. Okay, the same logic applied to city, so that we can place that another newly created table into the matrix columns and rows. Okay. The next step is to create two data table, namely the header product, the header city. Okay. I click on the new table. I copy and paste. All right. Let's break here. You see that the header city, I'm using the Boolean function. Well, Boolean means that we are combining more than one data tables into one newly created data table. Now, this newly created data table called header city. Okay. You see that there are 3 data tables. First one, distinct. I believe that you know the usage. Inside the distinct is select columns. And then we are extracting city. And the data type. Now, D type, the new name of this column, D type, the content is city. All right. And then the second column, city, the content is the sales quantity city. And then the third column. Now, third column, please pay attention. I call it F city. And then the content is repeat. Now, this is REPT, means repeat. I add the space, 11 space, plus the sales quantity city. You may wonder, it is not the first time you see I'm using this technique. Power BI is using the column content for sorting. You cannot sort a column in the order of the other column. We cannot. So, in order to sort the city, I need to create another column. And then I add the space in the front, so that if the space is sufficient large, then that row will be placed at the top. Now, when I hit enter, you can see that. Now, F city, you see the F city column. All the city name are sorted at the top. All right. Now we can do the sorting ascending. Now A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All right, because they have 11 space ahead. Then I add another table. I don't call it any table because it is a temporary data table and I do not need to assign the name. I use the same column name as the first data table. Now they are D type, the data type is string, and then city, data type is string, and then F city, same. And I put city, total 1, and then 10 space ahead total. Now this is a little bit tricky. When you look at the data table, the total 1 under the D type of city because it has 10 space ahead total. All right, so it is sort right after the city name because those city names have 10 space ahead. Okay, and then the statistics. This is the third temporary table. You see, I am using the same column name. D type, the content is statistics. City, the content is the header name. Then you see that F city. I use the repeat of space, but this time I calculate the number of space ahead the content. Now remember we have the ID of each column, each row in the statistics city. Now we go to the statistics city. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you see that 10 minus the ID. If it is the first row, you remember is total. The ID is 1. 10 minus 1 is 9. That means the space repeat 9 times. And that's why the total of statistics rank the least of total 1. And then max.city, you remember the ID is 2. All right. 10 minus 2 is 8. So we have 8 space ahead of max.city. So you see that this kind of calculation, assigning the space ahead the content, has created the effect of sorting. All right. So, but you may question, if I put F city as the row header, then the space ahead the content, will it affect the appearance? My answer is negative. No. Power BI ignore all the space ahead of the content. Now we can go back to the complete version of the Power BI report. Here you see the city column and the row. I had the city A. Do you see any space? No. No space ahead the city content. And also the statistic row. Same logic applied to the column. You see, I had the model 1. Do we have any space? No. So you see, sometimes Power BI has reserved some magic which you need to take advantage of it in order to achieve some effect of presentation. Then go back to the Power BI developer mode. All right, we are going to create another table. We call it header product. Now I also do the copy and paste. Now you see that there are 3 tables for this header product. Now the first one, similar to what we have done for the header city. We just extract the unit product from sales QTY here. But we call it P type. For the product column, we call it P type. And then the column product, we extract the product from sales QTY here. And then F product, all right, we are using the repeat, same 10. And sales quantity, all right. And then we add 1 data table, actually is also add 1 row. Same column name, and we add the total 1 with line space ahead of total. Okay, column P type, this is the statistic product. Okay, I hit enter. Now same. Now don't worry if you cannot catch up with the pace. I will attach all the data file, Excel file, Power BI in the remark of this video. You can download the file and then you can follow through what we are doing in the video. All right. Now you see, it is in a right order of the rows. Actually, this is the column, but in data table it is row. All right. Model from 1 to model Z, and then to total. And then max product, max quantity, max over total, and up to max over mean. Now, you may have some question why we have 2 total. Remember, as I say, this is the user-defined total. It is not the matrix visual subtotal or grand total. All right. And I will show you how we can present the total in different occasions. All right. Now, we are going to input the matrix visual. Okay, let's insert a matrix visual on the canvas. Matrix. All right. Make it bigger. because we have so many data put into the matrix. All right, we start from putting the city. Now, here, I'm not putting city. Rather, I'm putting the F city so that it can sort on the column content. You remember the space ahead, the content, all right? It can serve as a sorting order purpose. Rows, okay? You see, from A, B, C, D, all right? And then it is in the order as desired. Now, although you see that there are two total, it doesn't matter. I will explain later. I will assure you that the complete version will only show one row of total. Okay, and then we are going to put the columns. Same, I use the F product. Whoops. Let's see what happened. See details. Can't determine relationships between the fields. Can't display the data because Power BI can't determine the relationship between two or more fields. What does it mean? It means that although matrix can allow rows and columns come from different tables, but these two tables must have relationship. When we talk about relationship, that means these two tables must have a common field, and which is linked up in the model view here, this model view. We have not done any relationship in the model view, so we don't have that. And also, these two data tables, they don't have a common field. All right, so we need to do that. We need to insert a column of city to the header product data table. Of course, you can insert the product in the header city, either one. This time we choose to input the city field in the header product. All right, but how? Now you see that it is not just put a single city. Rather, we need to put all the city. That means every single city should have all this field, all this row. All right. So it should be a combination. Okay, I am going to revise the data table structure of header product. Again, I am using the technique of temporary data table. I suppose you already have some understanding of temporary data table and how it works and the value of it. All right. Here, I call it TMP TBL equal to union. For better presentation, I need to do the indentation. All right. Then I'm going to introduce a function of January. Okay, in January, there are two input parameters, table 1 and table 2. Well, it's a little bit confusing to talk about this here. Rather, I should use a simple example in Excel to explain how January functions. All right, there is two simple tables. City contains ABC. Product contains model 1 to 3. Now, if I use the January function like this, all right, city and product, it will return a table like this, city A, with all the model in combination. City B, same. City C, same. Okay? Simple. All right? It's easy to understand in the form of Excel. Okay, then we go back to Power BI. Here, then I need to do the this thing. Which one? Yes, I should use city. Hierarchy, header city. All right, and TMPTBL. Okay, after that, you see that let's select city A and sort by F product. City A, every single city has the full list of header product, the original header product or the TMP TBL temp table. Okay, it's so easy. And why do we need this? Because in matrix, every row suppose has all the columns. I say it again. In matrix, the row, each row supposedly has all the columns included. So this new header product table is performing this function. Okay. All right. We have the header product created properly, and then we are going to create the relationship between these two tables. Header city, header product, and the city corresponding to city, and then they should be both. All right. Now check it once again. Header city, header product, city, save, and remember this is both. All right. Then we go back to the report view, and we once again put the F product into the columns. See, model, there is no issue, no error message reported. Let's break here for the part 1 of this video. I will continue the critical part of this Power BI report in part 2. For example, the essential 3 measures of the visual matrix. If you find this video helpful, please click on the subscribe button and also the like button. Many thanks. Happy PBI journey.